Hello, my name is Prajakta Yadav. I am a student of Britsang Training Center. Today, I am going to discuss with you a technical topic about respiratory system. Respiratory system is an intricate network of organs and structures that work together to facilitate the exchange of gases, primarily oxygen and carbon dioxide, between the body and external environment. This system is crucial for maintaining cellular respiration, the process by which cells generate energy from food. The human respiratory system consists of various anatomical structures, each playing a specific role in breathing and gas exchange. Anatomy of respiratory system. The human respiratory system can be divided into two main parts, the upper respiratory tract and the lower respiratory tract. Upper respiratory tract, which includes nose, nasal cavity, the entry point of air where it is filtered, humidified, and warm. The nasal cavity is lined with mucous membranes and cilia that trap particles, dust, and pathogens. Pharynx, that is throat area, a muscular tube that serves as a pathway for air to move from nasal cavity to the larynx. It also connects to esophagus for the passage of food and liquids. Larynx, voice box, situated below the pharynx. A larynx contains the vocal cords and is responsible for sound production. It also serves as a protective mechanism to prevent food and liquids from entering the trachea, that is windpipe. Now the lower respiratory tract, which includes trachea, that is windpipe, a rigid tube-like structure that connects the larynx to the bronchi. The trachea is lined with ciliated epithelial cells that help filter out harmful particles. Bronchi. The trachea divides into two primary bronchi, one for each lung. These further branch into secondary and tertiary bronchi, which progressively become smaller and narrower. Bronchioles. The smaller branches of bronchioles lack cartilage and are lined with smooth muscle that can constrict or dilate to regulate airflow. Alveoli. Tiny air-filled sacs at the end of the bronchioles where gas exchange occurs. The alveolar walls are very thin and lined with capillaries, facilitating the diffusion of oxygen into the blood and the removal of carbon dioxide. Mechanism of breathing. Breathing or pulmonary ventilation involves two primary phases, inhalation, that is inspiration, and exhalation, that is expiration. Inhalation. During inhalation, the diaphragm, a dome-shaped muscle beneath the lungs, contracts and flattens, increasing the thoracic cavity's volume. At the same time, the intercostal muscles between the ribs contract, raising the rib cage. This expansion reduces the pressure inside the lungs, causing air to flow in from the outside environment. Exhalation. During exhalation, the diaphragm relaxes and moves upward while intercostal muscles relax, causing the rib cage to lower. This reduction in the thoracic cavity's volume increases the pressure in the lungs, forcing air out of the respiratory system. Gas exchange. Gas exchange primarily takes place in the alveoli of the lungs, which are designed to maximize the surface area available for diffusion. Oxygen from the inhaled air diffuses through the thin walls of alveoli and enters the blood in the surrounding capillaries, while carbon dioxide produced by cellular respiration in tissues diffuses from the blood into the alveoli to be exhaled. This process occurs via simple diffusion driven by differences in concentration of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Oxygen transport. Once oxygen enters the blood, it binds to hemoglobin molecules in blood cells. This allows oxygen to be transported efficiently to tissues throughout the body. Carbon dioxide removal. Carbon dioxide is primarily transported in the blood in three forms: dissolved in plasma, bound in hemoglobin, and as a bicarbonate ions in plasma. The majority of CO2 is transported as bicarbonate, a process that involves the enzyme carbonic anhydrase in red blood cells. Regulation of breathing. Breathing is primarily regulated by the medulla oblongata and the pons, two structures in the brainstem. These regions monitor the levels of oxygen, carbon dioxide, and pH in the blood and adjust the rate and depth of breathing accordingly. Chemoreceptors in the medulla and in the carotid and aortic bodies detect changes in blood levels of CO2, oxygen, and pH. Increased CO2 levels or decreased pH indicating acidity stimulate the medulla to increase the rate of breathing, facilitating the removal of CO2 and the intake of oxygen. Baroreceptors also influence breathing, responding to changes in blood pressure and helping adjust ventilation accordingly. Role of the respiratory system in homeostasis. The respiratory system plays a key role in maintaining homeostasis, particularly through regulating the body's acid-base balance. The lungs helps control the blood's pH by eliminating excessive carbon dioxide, which when dissolved in water forms carbonic acid. This helps prevent the blood from becoming too acidic or too basic. Today we discussed about the respiratory system. Thank you for listening.